Hold on, it's going. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Cardellichio. I want to welcome you to another Momentum Monday. I am here with my co-host, America's leadership expert, attorney Jen Garrett. Jen, before we start, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms
Happy
out
Mother's
there.
Day to all the moms. How are you, and how was your day yesterday?
I am doing fantastic. I had a great day. I worked a little bit, but for the most part, it was pretty chill, pretty relaxing. So it was a wonderful Mother's Day.
It was a great Mother's Day. I'm glad that you had it. You deserved it. You know,
Thank you.
all the moms deserve a nice Mother's Day, right? It's a great
Absolutely.
day. It's a great day. It's a great situation. You know, we honor our moms and so forth and so on. So I'm glad that you had a great day. So tell me, what did you do? Anything in particular where you sat there and you said to yourself, this is just great. It's Mother's Day and so forth.
Well, I take appreciation of every day. So for me, Mother's Day wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is a great day above any other one. But,
Right.
I mean, I do think it's important for us, and we've talked about this before, to focus on self-care and taking time for you. And so there was part of the day where I just chilled and took some time for me. And then, like I said, I did some work, but that's okay. It wasn't anything too stressful, just a few things I
Right.
wanted to catch up on. And then I just hung out with my 4-year-old. So she and I are here in Chicago at the moment. My other kids are across the U.S. Most of them in California. One is in Kentucky, but it was a nice chill day with me and my littlest one.
They're all over the place. They're older, so they can't be
Yes,
in the house all the
they're
time.
on the move, moving the
They're
ball.
on the
I
move.
hope.
They're on the move. They're doing their things. Let's talk a little bit about self-care, because you and I have discussed self-care over the last several weeks, and it's important as an entrepreneur to have self-care. Then we're going to get into another topic right after this. But tell us, what do you do for self-care? Why is it important to sit back and to take a break every now and again? And you know what? We've been grinding a lot with Momentum Monday. We took a couple of weeks off. We both
Mhm.
got busy and so forth and so on. But self-care is extremely important. What are your strategies for self-care?
Yeah, great question. So for me, what I like to do is for one, just like to take a time out where I take time to reflect and think
Mm-hmm.
about everything that I'm doing. Are the things that I'm doing each day, each week, each month in alignment with what's important to me? And if it's not, then some changes are in order. So that's one. I mean, I'm very focused on exercise. I try to
Mm-hmm.
work out twice a day. So that is a form of self-care as well. You got to take care of your body as well. So I think it's important to prioritize that on a daily basis. Everybody has different things they've got going on. So you got to fit in what you can fit in that works for you. But that's another thing for me. So I like to take time to think, take time to reflect, and then just take time to work out. And, I think it's important too to enjoy your family. So that is also part of self-care, is focusing on the relationships that are
Right.
important to you. We talked before about how so many people are focused, especially as entrepreneurs, on the hustle, on the grind, and go, 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 go. But what happens is they're often sacrificing relationships with the people that matter. So that's great that you have all this success and you have all this money in the bank, but
Right.
then look at the relationships that you have, right? And are they suffering as a result of all of your hustling and grinding? So for me, focusing on relationships that matter, whether it's family or friends or whomever, even in this time of coronavirus, it doesn't mean you're out every night hanging out with people, but you can be
Right.
on the phone, you can be on Zoom calls, you can be checking in with the people and spending time with those that matter to you.
I look forward to our Momentum Mondays where we get to see each other and we get to Zoom
Yes.
and we get to talk about important topics. Self-care is important. I mean, for me, working out, is important. To me, it's a mental, physical, and emotional aspect of it. So the
Yes.
physical is definitely working out. And I work out at times, a couple of times a day where I'm out. If I'm up in the morning, depending upon what time I'm up, either I'll hit the weights for a period of time or I'll go run. And then later on in the day, in building a relationship, for example, with my son, he'll come home from school off-season hockey. He's playing baseball right now. If there's no baseball practice, you know, he and I will either work with the weights or we'll go for a run, combination thereof, depending upon what I've done so far during the course of the day. Because, you know, working out is a great form of self-care because you need to be healthy. You know, there's a lot of stress with being an entrepreneur. You have to deal with stress. You have to deal with adversity, and you have to be healthy in order to be able to deal with all of that. Physical aspect of it is very important. Then I'm going to add in eating right, because if you're not eating right and you're not fueling your body, you know, it's not good. So if you're eating, you know, chocolatey cakes, I have a tendency to do that. I love chocolate. You know, your insulin, cortisol's all over the place. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel right about yourself. And so are you hydrating? Are you eating appropriately? I have my nutrition shake I'm ready to take right after we're done here. I have my vitamins. You know, today I may not work out because part of self-care is also at the age of 60, sometimes you need a day off. Maybe it's an active recovery. I'm going to go for a walk in the neighborhood today. So that's extremely important. What do you do for yourself mentally and emotionally for self-care?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we talked earlier about, you know, taking time to think and reflect. So that's important. We've talked before about expressing gratitude. That's important, especially when you have things not going your way. When you have that attitude of gratitude, that's part of self-care because your mental well-being is so important, and you being able to move the ball every day and to get things done. And so for me, it's reminding myself that, you know, everything is a matter of perspective. And so, you know, my problems are someone else. People would kill to have my problems, right? And there's so many people that have worse problems out there. And sometimes we get caught up in these first world problems, and you remind yourself of how lucky you are to have all the things that you have. I mean, simple things like clean water, right? Warm water to take your showers, simple little things. And being in the military, I've also been in situations where I haven't had those things. So you remember the little things because they matter. And that's part of that self-care, that mental well-being. You know, I like to read too. I like to listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos on different thought leaders, which helps to keep me framed in the right mindset and reframe when I need to be. So that's another thing that I do to focus on self-care.
It sharpens the saw when you do those things. I do the same.
Absolutely.
I do the same, you know, mentally and physically spending time. I mean, mentally, emotionally spending time, you know, with family is important. Calling them is important. It keeps me grounded, and it, you know, reminds me of where I've come from and where I'm going and where I am right now. I think that's important. I do read a lot outside of business or trade journals and things of that nature. I do have a particular genre of books that I like to read, and it just kind of, you know, it kind of takes me away. You know, and spending time with my son is extremely important. Even if, like yesterday, at one point in time, we're all just kind of sitting around and we're just laughing, goofing around, and the dog jumps in the middle of everybody, and he's just lying on his back and he wants his belly rubs. You know, I find that therapeutic, by the way. So it's all good to do that. You know, and you know, some people like to meditate. I know that I have had individuals over the years that I have, you know, treated that are special forces, and they tell me that they meditate, and they got me into it. You know, it clears the mind, and it, you know, refreshes the day. Being grateful. Again, these are not Pollyanna situations. They are situations that can be beneficial, because if your mind is clear, you can look for a solution in any issue that comes up. You know, so, you know, so I think that's important also. So self-care is extremely important as an entrepreneur. And the last thing I'll say is I love to be by the ocean. Okay. That is self-care for me. That's been therapeutic ever, you know, for my entire life. Jersey Shore, you know, and so forth and so on. So, you know, I love the ocean. I could be at the ocean all day long, every day. As a matter of fact, Jen, my goal is to have an office on the beach, and to be taking care of individuals on the beach.
Nice.
Shorts, my golf shirt. I don't know, maybe flip-flops, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
There you go. Nice.
So tell me another aspect of this, the people around you, right? What is that saying? The sum of, the sum of five people, you're kind of the sum of five people that you have around you. So
right.
What about the people around you? Because people around you can lift you and people around you can bring you down.
Absolutely. Yeah, you absolutely are the sum of the five people that are around you, or six or seven or what. I mean, five is not a magic number, but that's what the saying goes. It's the people that are closest in your circle are going to dictate whether or not you're successful or whether you're not, because they're either lifting you up, they're challenging you, they're pushing you, they're propelling you forward, or they're detracting from what it is you're looking to do. And so I wrote a post on this the other day, actually, where I talked about, you want to have people that are going to empower you, that are going to propel you forward, but also you need to surround yourself with people who are included in that circle, are people that have been where you want to go. So it's not just about positivity and uplifting and all that good stuff. That's important. Don't get me wrong. You need those people to keep you going, but you need people that you can learn from, that have walked in the shoes that you want to walk in, so that you can not make those mistakes. You can accelerate your learning curve, and that you can move even faster than if you didn't have that wisdom and that coaching and mentoring available to you. So you want those people too.
Right. And that's important. What the two words were coaching and mentoring, where when you find that individual or individuals that can help coach and mentor you, maybe they've been there, done that type of an attitude. You can look into their eyes and you can say, they're a serious individual. They know exactly what I'm going through. They know exactly what I need. And they're going to challenge me in order to do that. So that's extremely important, is to challenge, as a mentor to younger chiropractors and younger clinical nutritionists. I challenge them. They look up to me for that mentorship, and I challenge them and my friends on a regular basis, because you go through a lot of stuff in your life. You got that, you're seasoned. You got a lot of that white hair, which I'm getting on the top of your head, Jen. And, that just means you just got a lot of life that you've lived, and perhaps, you've learned a lot. But being around people that are important enough that you can let in, or it's just important in your life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I think it's important for us to really think about, who are those people in our circle? And so my call to action for those today is to do an assessment. Think about, who are those people in your inner circle? Are they the right people? Are they the people that you need and that you want to be in that circle?
And if they shouldn't be in this circle, what should you do?
You kick them out? No, I mean, so, I mean, that doesn't mean you have to get rid of people that don't need to be in the inner circle. You can still have friends, you can still stay in contact, but it's really about limiting. I mean, we all have the same amount of time, and how we spend that time, we all know is important. So it's really about limiting the time with those people that might not be the people that are helping you to move forward. So you can still have those relationships. You can still have those friendships. You can still hang out with them and do Zoom calls and whatever else it is you want to do. But on a day-to-day basis, think about, are they the ones that are helping you get from point A to point B? Or should you make some shifts there? When I left my corporate job to be an entrepreneur, I completely shifted the people that I hung out with or associated with on a daily, weekly basis, because I knew that I needed to align myself with people that were entrepreneurs. It's a different way of thinking. The risk tolerance is different. The boldness is different. It's just a very different mindset. And so the people that I was friends with in the corporate, that doesn't mean I don't talk to them anymore. We're still friends. We still stay in touch, but they're not the people that I go to when I need to bounce ideas off of, because they've not been through the entrepreneurial journey. Now, there might be some ideas I bounce off of different people depending on their expertise, but from a day-to-day, pushing, growing, grinding, I'm going to go to people that have been successful entrepreneurs, because that's the space that I'm in.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And, it's not that you give up them, it's not that you give up those individuals as friends. It just may not be that I'm bouncing off some thoughts that I'm having for a business, or thoughts that I'm having to, move it forward. So you and I talk off camera, right? And, you'll bounce ideas off of me. I bounce ideas off of you in order to see what my opinion is. And I value your opinion, to make sure that, I don't know, am I thinking, clearly? Is there something that you can give me a different perspective on, which is extremely important. Now, you know what? A lot of individuals, a lot of people that I know, they'll say to me, geez, my husband, my wife, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my significant other, they're not supportive. They're not doing anything to help out the situation. That's the most difficult one, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they can either bring you up or they can bring you down. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to have a partner that is on board with what your goals are. And so, I mean, I think you have to have those critical conversations with them as to why this is important. Maybe they have some concerns. So listen to what they have to say. I mean, maybe there's some things that you're not thinking about. Maybe the timing isn't right given what's going on with your family too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So sometimes that's the case. And sometimes you have to say, you know what? You're right. This is important to me, but we have to focus on the kid, whatever it is, the kid, something else that's going on. I'm going to put this on hold, but when we come back to this, I need your support 100% on this. So, I mean, it's really about just having that conversation with your significant other. The other thing to think about is, I mean, are they the right significant other? This is easier when you're dating someone versus in a marriage. Hopefully, if you're married to the person, right? I mean, you've kind of gone through that, but sometimes you have to kind of think through, like, if this person can't be supportive and there's no other valid reason why they're not supporting me here, then maybe I need to make the tough call and say, hey, still have the conversation, right? I mean, talk it out and see if they're going to be supportive. Don't just be like, bye, see ya. Right. Jen said this. But I mean, so work through that. But if at the end of the day...
Jen, I was listening to Momentum Monday the other day, and I really like what they have to say each Monday. And Jen said, you're out.
But I mean, communication is so important. Transparency is important. I mean, if something's bothering you, talk through what isn't, where you don't feel that support, and hear the other person out. And at the end of the day, if there's no other reason why you can't pursue this now and they're just unsupportive and this thing is so important to you, sometimes you have to make that change.
And I agree with you. And I come from the premise that you could do anything. And what I mean by that is that if your significant other said, well, maybe we have something we have to focus in on the children or whatever the case may be, you can always on a Sunday night, because it's always a time-consuming act when you have children, right? It's always very time-consuming. So, it's like, okay, I'm working tonight. I have meetings. I'm handing out my business card. I have things that need to get done. And then what happens from there is that, you can tag team. Okay, you're taking them here. I'm taking them there, and so forth and so on. So, you can always have that. And then it becomes very apparent sometimes when you shouldn't be in a relationship because it was just bad from the beginning and it's just bad now and they're not going to be supportive.
Absolutely. So if you saw me, I'm not distracted. I know you know that.
I know what's going on over there, Jen.
I've got a daughter that's 4 that's with me, and she's not happy at the moment.
You know what, Jen? Pick her up right now. Put her on the camera so that she can feel mom's love. It's all good. There she is. Hi, honey. There you go. It's all good. So
this is what we call real life, right? We have kids at home that are not happy at times, and so it happens sometimes. We want everything to be perfect, but you know what? As a mom, it's Mother's Day yesterday. We have to take care of our kids too. So she's having an issue with her iPad, and so she's not real.
She's not happy, and you know what? It's all good because I took over and I was talking during that time, and I knew exactly what was going on. So as a business partnership and relationship in Momentum Monday, I was moving the ball and you were doing what you had to do. I knew, for those of you that are listening in, I knew what was going on. And so sometimes my son barges in and he's 13. And sometimes my dog jumps up. He's a 12-pound cockapoo. He puts his snout right there. And we're not taking this out of the podcast. So it just stays right in.
It's life, right? We've talked about this before. Things happen while we want everything to be perfect, especially when we're on camera. I mean, you and I were talking before, and I'm like, hey, just a heads up. I got my 4-year-old. Hopefully she's going to let us do this segment. And she did a good job for most of it. But, you know, I mean, that's part of what makes you
good.
Real too, right? I mean, my life isn't perfect, just like everybody else's. We have things that we go through. And, you know, we're talking about team. I mean, that's what your teammates do, right? They keep things moving when you have to take a pause as well.
Well, again, that goes back to the individuals that are around you.
Yes.
Are they challenging you? Are they moving forward? Do they care enough to help out, or they don't care enough to help out?
Right.
It becomes very apparent at you know, it just really becomes apparent. So can we see your pretty face today? No. Okay. It's all
She's
good.
Being very shy.
That's okay. That's all right. Mom and Dr. Dan will get you out of that shyness pretty quick. And you'll be out there moving the ball very, very soon. Okay,
That's
Jen,
right.
is there anything else that you want to discuss before we get off today?
You know, I mean, it's Monday. It's another Monday, right? It's the beginning of the week for most people. And we always talk about getting some momentum. Today, I guess the last thing I'll say is, you know, you all have choices every day, right? So you have the choice to be the person that you want to be today. You have the choice on what kind of mindset you're going to bring. You have the choice on how you're going to show up. If you're going to be kind, what kind of energy you're going to put in. So think about the choices that you're making today, not just from eating and working out and stuff like that, but from, you know, an energy standpoint and from what you're going to do today. So hopefully you'll make some good choices so that at the end of the day, you can look back and say, you know what? Today was a great day. I rocked it and I'm ready to move on to tomorrow and keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. So Jen, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
And it's great that your daughter is on. Maybe we'll bring her on next week and we'll start mentoring her along. So who do you have on your podcast and upcoming, and what's going on with that?
Yeah, and I'll have to coach her before next week. So hopefully we'll have her bright-eyed, ready to go and helping us host the show. So who I have on the podcast, recently I had a gentleman by the name of Rob Vaca. Mm-hmm. Rob is a serial entrepreneur, does a lot of work with athletes as well. He's got some great lessons for those that are entrepreneurs. So I'd highly recommend checking him out. Today, we drop a new episode with a guy who played Major League Baseball by the name of Wes Chamberlain. And so one thing I really like about Wes that we talk about in the show is so Wes ended up going to the World Series and he lost. They lost, right, in the World Series. And so he wasn't real thrilled about going to, you know, the big show and not winning. And he was talking about how he had an opportunity to meet with one of his idols who played baseball. And the guy was like, at least you got to play in the World Series, because the person that he idolized had been playing Major League Baseball for 20 years and never got to the World Series. And so the reason I share that is it comes back to perspective, right? That's just like, oh, I went to the World Series and I lost and I have this ring. That's what it was. Both teams get a ring. And so he had the ring for the team that did not win, right? And so it's like, at least you played in the World Series. Like, that is an accomplishment in itself. So I think it's important. Why I'm sharing that here is remember those things. Even when the outcome doesn't go your way, you still got to do something that a lot of people would dream of. Just like we talked about with March Madness, you know, back in March, when I'm a Gonzaga alum. I mean, Gonzaga had a phenomenal season, going undefeated in the regular season, had a great showing during March Madness. Obviously, they didn't win in the finals, but they have a lot to be proud of. So for us, we need to take credit for the wins that we do have, not just focusing on those negative outcomes.
Absolutely. I think that's wonderful. And I think that's great. I have today, later on, I have a Dr. Gina Nick. She was the, you know, on the Destination Health podcast, she was the medical director for a nutraceutical company. And then on Wednesday, we have Jenny Lynn coming back on. She is one of the most prolific IFBB figure pros of all time. And we have a special announcement coming up. So, Jen, thank you very much for being on today.
Thank you.
Thank your daughter for being on today.
Yes.
And we will see you next month. I want to thank next week, everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Move the ball, be the best version of yourself, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye, everybody.